Aston Martin, and Toyota right here. Don't go anywhere.
The Toyota God. Others say he ran for mayor.
Introduce you to the candidates running for mayor. So today it's Jim Miller.
One of your priorities that you've laid out is fixing the roads in Colorado Springs.
Jim Miller.
Mr. Miller, you also have 30 seconds.
That was Jim Miller, just a guy.
All we know is he's just a guy with more cars than friends. Jim Miller is on Automotive ADHD.
Yes, he is. Jim Miller, my guest. Of course, you are listening to the Automotive ADHD show. My name is Matt West. And Jim, I just realized we're getting into the segment here, and I'm missing something.
You are.
I am missing something. I think for the sake of our viewers on radio, that's how that works. You're not going to know what I'm talking about.
I also have smell-o-vision.
Yeah. So, Jim, why don't you entertain the fine folks listening right now while I go into the other studio and grab that?
All right. So, if anybody has been wondering what I have been up to, I've been very, very, very busy. I'm doing the whole run for city council to help make Colorado Springs a better place because it's getting a little out of control and it's turning into everywhere else and getting very, very expensive. But Matt West has come back in, so I no longer have to continually say that for everybody else to listen to.
I'm struggling here. Hold on.
He's stuck in the hoodie.
All right.
There he goes.
There we go.
Just your size.
I think it is. It's just my size, and it's from Just a Guy. There we go.
Looking good, huh?
Man, I feel fancy. My only gripe is that this hoodie is not pre-greased. It's not like greasy and dirty already. Like the greasy fingerprints weren't included.
I heard there was a lot of shock and awe me wearing a clean hoodie. I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, if you are following along at home, Jim is running for city council. And earlier this week, you partook in a city council forum. Not quite a debate, but still kind of a debate.
It's soft-handed, light.
But I think people were shocked because your hoodie was clean. And if you notice, this hoodie says Jim Miller for city council on it.
Yes.
It's like you're running for city council.
Right. It looks good, though.
But it was clean. You were wearing a clean hoodie, and that was shocking, I think, to people. They were just dumbfounded. They didn't even know what to say.
Just a clean hoodie and my hat not on for a minute, and people are like, whoa.
Yeah. He's a reformed-looking guy here. But no, so what was interesting about this city council forum is I also attended the forum, and I thought it was funny because I got there a little bit late because I was doing things on the radio right until it started, basically. And so I drive up, and I'm like, aha, this is the place. And there's a AE8611 parked out front, which I don't think that has ever happened in the history of politics, where you go to a forum or debate, and A, there's some cool, rare, old JDM car there, and B, it actually belongs to one of the candidates. I thought that was very fascinating.
Yeah, I am a car guy. There's a reason to it, you know. It just is what it is. But yeah, I don't think there's ever been any neato cars that a politicians drove. They drive a lot of traffic if you really look at it and watch.
I think politicians, we would have to do some research into what cars politicians drive. Obviously, the president doesn't drive. He's not allowed to drive. He is driven.
Man, that would annoy me.
Yeah, but presidents, they can't, for one, they can't drive while they're in office. And then once they get out, you still can't get a driver's license if you're a president. You have to be chauffeured around.
Yeah, what about off-road?
I mean, that's different. I mean, just generally on road. So you just can't
get a driver's license? Does that mean they just go, well, I'm going to drive anyways?
Well, the question is, who would stop you?
I don't know. Somebody that didn't recognize them.
I guess.
I have no idea.
That would be a funny interaction with the traffic cop. Do you know who I am? Yeah, I do now.
Afterwards,
but
do I have a job? I better call the chief of police.
The cop pulls you over, and then like 15 Secret Service guys arrest him.
Arrest the cop.
Arrest the cop. But anyway, so no, you are a car guy. You are running for, of course, City Council District 5. And yep. I think that obviously you're running on many different things and issues and topics, not just cars, but on this show. We talk about cars, and I've had an open invitation here. We've been going on, what, three weeks now?
We're a few weeks deep into this, yeah.
Yeah, and none of the other candidates, namely your opponent, have taken up my invitation to come on the show.
The incumbent, old Nancy Hedgem, she doesn't want to be showing up and talking about cars.
So if you're just joining us and you weren't listening a few weeks ago, I mentioned that legally, because Jim's a candidate now, and because we're a radio show, we're regulated by the FCC. And if I have Jim on the show, I have to offer equal airtime to any of the other candidates who would like it. And I said, great, I can do that, but it doesn't mean we have to talk about what they want to talk about. Yes. It means that the rule, any district, any council candidate for any district can come on my show, not just your direct opponent.
No, have any of them come on here. Have them talk about some stuff. Red light cameras, speed traps. I'm against them. I don't like them.
Yeah.
Waste of our money.
As long as it's automotive related, we can talk about it. Now,
parking meters downtown. I hate them. I hate them, especially if you work downtown. That stuff's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What are you going to do? Whenever you need to go out and feed the meter at your job, you're working people. You got things to do. If they really want to milk you dry, I guess a parking permit, $60 for the year or something, and a sticker goes in your window and you re-verify it every year.
Yeah. A lot of cities do operate that way.
Yeah, well,
they do.
For being something that's supposed to be like, it's just gone downhill and turned into everywhere else, they sure don't do anything like anywhere else.
And, I think, too, with the parking, the meters, by the way, while we're just ranting about those, I very rarely go downtown and do social things at the bars and clubs, but I went with some friends to check out a new bar that had opened up, and we just hung out there. And I don't really drink, but I was the designated driver.
Yeah,
and I parked. I put the stuff in. I paid the meter, and lo and behold, I got a ticket there, and it had only been 3 minutes. It's expired by 3 minutes.
Yeah,
that's it. Like, I think these meters, just pure conjecture here, is the second they expire and they say, hey, there's still a car here, they probably have a way where they're signaling the parking official now, where he goes, aha, expired one there.
It beeps like one of those restaurant order things that your seat's ready.
Yeah.
He's just holding one of the number lights up.
Because he was nowhere to be seen, but 3 minutes that ticket expired.
I do not like meter maids. I think, if anything, we should put that money towards beat cops downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can give a ticket out with the meter thing. I got a parking ticket, too. Sunday at 7:38. I didn't even know that you had to pay a meter at night. Like, I don't go downtown for much of anything, and part of it's the parking, part of it's the vagrants and the methods and all the problems and weirdness, because I'm like, dude, I got enough problems. I don't need to add to them. And it just gets kind of gross and grimy downtown, which I'm sure has helped killing businesses downtown every day. Parking meters can't be helping, especially when it's like Sunday and you're like, oh, you'll get a ticket. It's up to 8 p.m. Everything. All the parking meters every day of the week, except for Sundays 1 through 8, and I think because of the church hours. Ridiculous. I hate them.
It is. Now, that does also tie me into another question that while I was at the forum earlier this week, the city council forum, who, again, your opponent did not attend, but while I was there, they had a thing where you could text in questions to the moderator. So I said, oh, gee, no one's asked a question about anything automotive. So I texted this. Now, they were doing sort of the way they were doing the questions. They would ask a few candidates a question, then shift questions and move on.
It's kind of an obscure round robin.
Kind of a round robin style.
Efficiency time thing. Keep it within the little hour and a half or something kind of thing that they had. Yeah.
Right. So what it meant is not every question got to you, and not every candidate got to answer every question.
No, I actually didn't get any of the cool car questions. Any of the stuff that I knew I didn't get. I got, what did I? Something about some weird
renewable energy, renewable sources. You got that one.
I got that one, and but it was like extra detailed on like the specific something of something that nobody that just like lives life would ever hear about unless you maybe designed it or something.
Right.
Then you'd be like, oh yeah, I know about that. It's like asking some guy that just flies on a plane. Well, you see how that turbine is, right? Do you understand that? Yada, yada. It was like that where you're like, what?
Yeah, you did have a good answer for it, though, if I recall, which was something to the effect of, if we just make the energy more affordable, right?
Yeah.
If we make it more affordable, we look at more reliable options. That's better for the everyday man.
Well, yeah, because like the city council position is a board position on the utilities, which does affect all of us here.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, well, yeah, renewable's fine. It just shouldn't cost you an arm, a leg, a kidney, your
Right.
firstborn, every meal you're going to have for the next 3 months. You know, it's ridiculous. And you got to have other stuff going in to keep it affordable until that stuff's reliable. What happened in Texas, though, remember?
Yeah.
Little freeze and none of that solary, windmilly stuff worked. It all broke.
Yep. Now, we've only got about a couple minutes here, so I'm going to hit you with the question that I sent to the moderator. He asked like 3 of the other candidates, except for you. They moved on to a different question by the time they got to you. But it was, do you support increased red light camera and automated speed camera programs? If so, how would you fund the programs? Jim?
I don't support any of those, and none of that should be funded as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And budget is a big part of city council. I think it's a waste of our time, energy, effort, and money. And if they keep screaming they need new law enforcement, isn't that part of the enforcement of the law budget? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So,
yep. And not only that, I mean, we've researched on this show before, the speed camera vans up in Aurora cost an absurd amount of money. And they go, it'll break even.
I'm pushing
Sure.
back to them, everybody realizing that those are not supposed to even be in town. And we've had this debate a number of times in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like the red light cameras and the speed traps that they go, no, it's illegal. You're not supposed to have them. And everybody forgets and they bring it back. Classic city move. So I'm against them. I don't want them up. I'm going to push for them to go down and be gone away with. Period. Speed traps, it's all sneaky Pete nonsense. You guys do drive better. Just stop at a stoplight, for crying out loud. Don't run each other over. All right? Be safe.
Yeah. And, that's one of those things that, we're the opinion on this show that we are very opposed to the red light cameras and the speed cameras. And it's not because we're endorsing you speeding, and it's not because we're endorsing you running red lights. We're against the specific enforcement action that's taking place with the automated system specifically because there are a lot of problems with doing automated law enforcement, especially, again, with speeding, red light cameras, and so forth. There's no discretion. There's no police officer who says, oh, hey, maybe you weren't running that red light, but you were on a motorcycle and it didn't change for you after 3 light cycles. No, it
was icy. You slid down for the humanity of all the interaction is taken out.
Absolutely. Jim Miller, 30 seconds.
Hey.
The website.
JimMillerForColorado.com. Go on there, check it out. If you like what it's about, every contribution will help.
And you can contribute, by the way. You're asking for how much?
$17.76. If you can do more, do more. If that's what you can do, do it. If you can do less, every bit counts.